Good morning, Ashley.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, how's
Good
it
morning. How
going?
are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. I'm on my second cup of coffee.
I'm I'm on my first, so you're way ahead of me.
Mm, yeah. I woke up too early this morning because of my cat was pouncing around the bed. I was like, are you kidding me?
That's so unfair. Your cat owes you some extra hours of sleep.
Yeah. Not all day long. Not very nice. I'm stuck here doing something or cleaning the house or being your mom. Just go ahead, sleep. I'll not bother you.
What's your cat's name?
We have Charlie and we have Salem. They're both domestic tuxedo cats. Yeah.
Whoa, they sound
4 years
like
old
fun.
and 2 years old. Yep. One mean,
Wow.
one nice. So we balance it out.
Amazing. That's so cool. I have to admit, I'm not as much a cat person. And I think it started because I'm allergic to them.
Oh.
Um, Here's the thing though, I'm also allergic to dogs, and yet I can't get rid of dogs. They're everywhere in my life. And then somehow I ended up adopting a husky, and now my entire house is covered in fur.
I have two dogs and two cats. And my kids are like, can we get another cat? Or can we get a puppy? I'm like, nope, nope. I love you, but we're gonna wait for the animal to be old and cross the rainbow bridge and then we could talk again. But nope.
Oh,
Four animals is enough. With two kids
Boris,
and a husband,
come
I'm good.
on. No.
But we want to have another build like a whole farm outside my house, have llama, sheep, whatever. Sure, why not? Why not? My
But
mom will.
you've got,
She
yeah,
has chickens.
you've got a farm inside and a farm outside.
Why not? Boom. That'll be me when I retire. But that's another 15 years from now on, so maybe I'll consider it.
I'm so happy to see you. How are you doing? I haven't seen you since we were in
I just
Florida.
finished work on Friday, so I'm off for the summer. People are like, are you going to work summer school this summer? And then, nah, I'm going to be taken off for the summer to recover from this year and work on my podcasting and work on my book and take care of my family. I am not working.
I love that you think that that's not working because you and I both know that there's certain aspects to spending the summer with your children and your entire farm that are way more like work than anything else.
Yeah, yeah. And I have a couple of students who have my phone number. I'm like, you can text me, but not like what you did through the school year, like 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night,
Yeah.
just to say hi because I'm in bed by 9 or 9:30.
Yeah. Yeah, by the way, I was just saying we really need to normalize going to sleep by 9 p.m. I don't understand. Like, I just did these movies in Europe. Everybody eats dinner at 8:30 at night. No, I need to eat dinner at 4:30 or 5 p.m. so that I can be a normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I really appreciate you coming on to the Cat Chat podcast. I mean, I've been trying to get you out there things that was falling for you with Paul Campbell because that movie was really special to my heart. So we will talk a little bit about that, and the most of it will be about Spain, Barcelona, all of that. So thank you for finding your time in the busy schedule for coming on to the Cat Chat.
Thank you so much for being patient with my schedule. I have been home since Christmas. I've only been home for 2 weeks. I've been in Europe. I've shot three movies between basically January 1st and June 1st, and I'm a little unorganized because I also have kids, so and a husband. So anyway, thank you so much for your patience. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm sorry all of us, are running around like crazy people. So really grateful for your
Yeah, I can't
patience.
imagine you and the actor like from that they from Kutmatkan and then another event and a movie and they get maybe 1 month off and they go back out there. I don't know how to do it, but
Yeah,
thank you
and
for
I'm
doing
like, I'm nervous right
Hallmark
now for
movie.
the fall. Like the fall, like countdown to Christmas is like a marathon in our house. It's like do or die time. It's so many events, it's so many fun adventures, but it is also like I feel like a little bit of a Christmas machine.
Yeah, that's how I feel with work and everything. I'm like, keep going. And all of my friends that I posted about different holidays. I'm like, I don't care about those holidays. I care about Christmas. So you're counting down to this. Great, I'm counting down for Christmas. That's it. And my holiday. I don't care about the other holidays. Pumpkin spice. Okay, cool. I'm waiting for my gingerbread latte. Okay?
So are we on the podcast right now, or are we gonna start recording, or what happens?
Yeah, yeah. We're already recording. I'm gonna
Oh,
edit
hi
a little bit.
everybody.
Wait. Okay. I haven't recorded from the beginning, but I will try to keep things for bloopers and I edit some kind of stuff. We got some fun stuff coming on.
Smart. I love it. Thank you. Hi everybody. Thank you so much for being here.
Anyway, Ashley, before we get in too deep with the movies, I want to know a little bit more about your program, Make Your Mark, and how that came up with supporting females, because I know it's always male, but females. So I was really excited to see the first mentor was Krista Alone, and I really enjoyed her first movie, which is Shifting Gears, and that was an amazing W for Make a Mark program.
Thank you so much for asking about that. Yeah, I mean, because I'm an actor on Hallmark, but I also have this entire other side project going on that not a lot of people know about. Did a child just walk by in your house?
No, my
You say you
husband
just did.
comes in with a
Oh.
buffalo bird teacher. I'm like, Happy Father's Day, fan. You're not, but
Hi,
actually, Buffalo Bird
cutie.
fan. I'm a Green Bay fan. So,
I hear there might be a Buffalo Bills celebration at Hallmark coming up.
yeah. So, we'll
I'm
see.
I'm ex
I said, come
I'm
on, come
excited.
on, you have to watch this movie with me. He's like, nah, nah.
Yeah.
What is the Buffalo Bills
It's your
movie?
favorite thing. Yeah.
Let me know how it ends.
Okay, so make her mark. So yes, this started years and years and years ago. I had been doing all these Hallmark movies and we there's a big population of men that do watch the Hallmark movies, but really they're female-centered stories, and a lot of the time our audience is primarily female. And then I just noticed that all of the people directing the Hallmark movies were men. And that was so interesting to me. By the way, the kindest, most generous, often Canadian, just wonderful men were directing the movies. And in a meeting at one point said, I just don't understand why we don't have more women directing these stories. They're all the time, they're most of the time about like professional women, these stories. And the Hallmark executives immediately said, "You're right. The problem is that we shoot the movies so fast, in a 15-day schedule on, a pretty tight budget. And a lot of the time, there just aren't enough experienced female directors to take on that kind of responsibility and that kind of task. So, Um, I said, well, it feels like Hallmark makes 100 movies a year. Why don't we have these wonderful, generous, kind male directors train some up and coming female directors who haven't been able to get their start, or their opportunity. And Hallmark immediately said, "This is an amazing idea." And they said, "But you're in charge." Because we don't really have the infrastructure to fully help you. And so I got the esteemed, incredible Randy Pope, who's president of production, to join forces with me. And he and I remember there was one meeting on Zoom during the pandemic that was just called Ashley and Randy and Jimmy, who's the other who also works in production. Ashley, Randy, and Jimmy do math. And it was just the three of us sitting there trying to crunch the numbers of how we were going to make this financially work. And we put our heads together and figured out a way for the program to sort of pay for itself, which is really how we were able to make it happen. And I'm so, so, so proud of it. We have at this point, I think we have 8 women who are in the program. We opened up applications wide a year ago and did a huge search, worldwide search, not just in the US, but anybody from all over the world could apply. And we found 4 women. We selected 4 women for the program, and they're in it. We just had one of them finished shadowing an incredible director in Vancouver. She shadowed. Do you know what shadowing is?
Yeah.
So it's like you basically sit and observe, not sit. It's mostly standing and hiding behind set pieces and furniture so that you're not in the way, but observing a director for all of prep, all of shooting, and all of post, and taking notes and being careful about when you ask questions so that you're not interrupting. And then the idea, the conceit of the program is that then you switch. So then we give that shadow her directorial debut, and her mentor becomes a creative producer to be there to have her back, and support her and answer questions for her first real job. So it's going really well. We also just had, it's not been announced yet, so I can't say who it is or what the project is, but it's amazing. People are going to freak out. But we just had somebody just make her directorial debut, and she's already getting interviews for her next job because the feedback on her has been so incredible. So it's like we're taking women who are not directors, or they're directing on the side, or they've directed 10 short films but haven't been able to get their big break, and we're making them into directors. So I'm so, so proud of it.
Wow, that's amazing. I can't wait to hear about that when it actually comes out. But that's amazing. I mean, I applaud for all of the women stepping up because it's always, man, no offense, but it's nice to see all the women stepping up and doing what they want to do and proving that they could do it. I mean, they could do act, okay? Men could do act, so can women. Men can act, so can women. What's the difference?
Well, it's interesting. Like, I think directing historically has been a primarily male profession, and I'm speaking generally. There's, of course, incredible exceptions to this. Leslie Linka Glader, Pamela Fryman, these women, Bethany Rooney, who have been doing it for 20, 30 years. But they're few and far between. And I think the main reason for that is that they need the opportunities to be able to train. We need to normalize, women in leadership. So if we educate them and we set them up for success, then we're going to create women that have, long histories. I always say, like, the only thing that we at Make Her Mark ask is that you thank us on stage at the Oscars.
Definitely. So thank you for sharing a little bit about Make a Mark, and I look forward to see the program grow and having more women with diverse or getting the experience of making Hallmark movies or other movies in general. So I'm excited for that.
Me too. Me too. Thank you. Thank you for
Uh,
asking.
briefly, no problem. Briefly about Pauline Bonjour. I mean, that was a really special movie. I mean, I really enjoyed your character and Paul character. Paul character just exceptionally done. You know, all the movie, it had to be something about him. I was just like, okay, you're grumping this one. Okay, here we go. No, I like the about Oliver County, but the movie was beautiful because I lost my grandmother 4 years ago due to Alzheimer. So I found fundraising or showing support, and Alzheimer was running, walking, or just for the heck of it. So I just wanted to share it with the beautiful movie, and I liked how it flowed from the beginning to the end because it was just not about her. It was also about her able to connect with all the people she meets, and then she finds out something at the end of the movie, and that made her realize it was just beautiful. So I just wanted to put that out there for Bali and for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching the movie. And you know, it's a tricky thing because so much of the time people come to Hallmark to get a break from the hard things in life, especially, you know, right now politically, there's so you turn on the TV and it's just bad news constantly. It's everybody, it's just it's a terrible source of bad feelings. um, and to go to Hallmark to then watch something where potentially you're dealing, you know, you're around the conversation of dementia and Alzheimer's is sometimes a little bit of a bummer. So you know, we wanted to sort of tread the line, which was why it was so important that we brought Paul Campbell in for the lead because he handles comedy so beautifully. He's such a masterful comedian because he's an amazing actor. He's real and he's genuine and he tells the story. And then he just comes in with these hilarious, you know, circumstances and attitude and line and kind of like wisecracking, you know, wry sense of humor. So, I'm so glad that it resonated with you. I'm so sorry about your grandmother. I just think it is more and more common the older people are living, we are going to be caretakers, and especially those of us with young children. You know, it is the most painful disease. My mother suffered with Alzheimer's for 12 years before passing, and I haven't talked about this publicly very much, but my father now has dementia, and um, I have young kids, and you know, it is the trickiest thing, you know. So you know, I'm really grateful that you watched the movie and that you appreciated it and that it resonated with you. That means a lot.
Definitely, definitely. I would watch that. I was just like, ah. And it just brings me back memories and all of that with grandma toward to the end because the end was tough. I mean, I had to watch my grandfather go through and support him to I recall my grandma and my grandfather, the notebook couple, because they were like really a good match and a good match and a couple. And they've been married, I don't know, forever. But it was just
Hmm.
really hard for him to lose my grandmother that day.
Mm,
And how all of the family came together to support him. Now he
really?
moved down to like literally 2 miles down the road after assisted living. So he comes by, when he burnt wounds, comes by every day. And the grandpa's here, there. But now he's based up.
Say,
So
you
it's
say, all right,
over.
go take one of my dogs for a walk.
He loved Hallmark, by the way. He was a
Oh, he
I need to
does?
go see the Hallmark people. I mean, what's his name? Andrew? I mean, you mean Tyler. I'm going to see him in December. So, yeah, I'll take care of you. So, he loved Hallmark. He would watch it once in a while. So, yeah,
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm so glad he's so close by now. That must be so special for him.
definitely. All right, Barcelona. Tell me about your experience with Barcelona before we get into it. How did you come up with the idea? And you like pick it up with Julie Sherman work, and boom, it became two movies about Anka and then Anna.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, I've told this. Did you hear about how the story came about?
No, I don't think that.
Oh, okay. Okay, because I've told this in some press, but okay, so I'm going to tell you. So, I was feeling really sad in an airport, and I
You
went
come up with a
to
great idea, the real place in that. I love it.
so I was at LAX airport and I went into a Hudson News and I was looking at all these amazing romance novels, right? And some of them were in English and some of them had been translated. And, I love to write. I don't know if I'm a very good writer, but I was like feeling sad about myself. I was like, oh, I'm not good at anything. I can't do anything right. And I look and I said, I'll never be able to write a romance novel. I'll never be able to do that. And then I looked at the ones that had been translated into other languages and I said, the only way I would ever have a successful romance novel is if an actually good writer translated my romance novel into their language, and that would be a success, right? And then I went, that's kind of a funny idea for a movie. And so that night it was like 1 o'clock in the morning in a bar, and where all good things happen. And Julie Sherman Wolfe, esteemed writer, was in the bar. We were at this Hallmark event. And I said, I had this kind of funny idea. And it was just like the beginning of an idea. It was just really a thought more than anything else. And I pitched it to her, and she said, well, the only way we could tell that story is if we could find another Hallmark actress to play the translator who spoke a different language. And right then, Alison Sweeney was walking by, and I said, and who I have loved for years and been friends with for years, and she was walking by, and I said, "Hey, Ali, do you speak another language?" And she said, "Yeah, I speak Spanish." And I turned to Julie and I said, "So it's set in Barcelona." And that was how it happened.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy. I mean, people walking left and right. But, hey, do you happen to know another language? Oh, you interesting? But again, both movies were spectacular. I love both movies for different reasons. But the second movie, I was just like, the chemistry, the banter, the love between you and Miguel. I was like, I can't. I need to pause this for a minute. I just can't keep up. No, that and the whole fake engagement. I was like, it's not going to be fake. It's going to be real time at the end of the movie because they have chemistry together. Obviously, I could see it from the right in the beginning. So it was beautiful. I really liked how Ali was the translator. And then you were like, oh, but you couldn't write it. That Ali was like, and she beefed it up or like stretch it out more. I was like, oh no, here's the conflict. Let's see how you play it out. But beautiful movies, both, and especially the location too. My father lived in Spain. He moved to Spain about let me think, 6 years ago. He lived north of Madrid. My mom
No
bought a
way.
house in Spain, so she
What?
lived there for half of the year. So yeah, yeah,
Wait, why? Are they Spanish?
yeah. My dad's half Spanish. My dad's family from
Oh,
South America. My mom's family
oh.
from Germany, England, that area. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Wow, well, you'll have to go visit.
yeah. My dad they come out to Spain, I was that not this summer because my kids have their own things going on. So maybe
Yeah.
next summer or the following summer after that. So we'll see. He goes, yeah, yeah, make it happen. Come over, I'll show you. I have a big house, it's off of a cliff. I was off of a cliff. He goes, not off of a cliff, but it's nearby. I was like, okay. So yeah.
Um, wow. What do you know what's the name of the city he lives in?
He lives uh,
But you
south
said it's a
of the
couple.
back. I don't know, but it's like really close.
Okay.
It's an hour north of Madrid.
Okay.
So my
Oh my
mom lives about
gosh.
an hour south. She bought a house. Oh, did you buy a house next door to that? She's like, no. an hour away from him. I'm like, okay, just checking.
That's the way to do it.
Yep, yep.
Oh wow, that is so cool. Well, yeah, it was I'm so glad you loved the locations because, I bet your father would recognize a lot of where we were. I mean, we weren't in Madrid, we were in Barcelona, and then we went over to Bilbao, which I really recommend. I fell in love with Bilbao. And and it was just amazing, like we shoot these movies most of the time in Canada, and we're trying to make downtown Vancouver look like New York City. And instead, we got to really shoot in the place where the story was taking place, which was so different and so cool. And we were in this Spanish villa for the second movie, and we really kind of felt at home in this house, this family. The actors playing the family really bonded, and I thought they were really like kind of amazing actors. And yes, I'm so glad that you liked Miguel Brocca, who actually lives in Madrid. He became a dear, dear friend, and it's so funny. I just did an Instagram live with him, and we told the story about because I know Andrew Walker very well. I know Chris Palaha very well. I know their wives. I know these men, and they're really good guys. They're not creepy. I feel really safe with them. But the idea of spending 6 weeks with somebody who doesn't understand Hallmark culture, who doesn't really, like Miguel had seen, I think, one Hallmark movie. And I
So
was
this
just a
was the
little,
first movie with Hallmark.
this was his first movie with Hallmark, and he'd only ever seen one movie. So it's basically like you're taking a complete stranger out of nowhere, and you're like, "Hi, spend 6 weeks with me, telling like
Put him
a
into the Hallmark.
romantic,
You need to
cozy."
put him into the Hallmark world.
Totally. By the way, he's up for it. But so I didn't know if this was like a weirdo, like I didn't know if he was a good guy, like what if he's creepy, So when I watched his audition, because Ali and I are executive producers, when I watched his audition, I was like, okay, this audition's amazing. He's so good. We got him approved. And then I said, wait. Before we actually hire him, let's get on a Zoom with him and just do like a vibe check, you know? Let's just see like if he's a good guy. And I was like, I kind of want to know like I want to know that he's like in a relationship with somebody and it's like a steady relationship. And so we get on Zoom with Miguel, and he seems immediately awesome and totally normal and sane and great. And then at one point, I just said, "So, like, do you have roommates? Like, are you married? Do you have kids? And he was like, "I have a longtime girlfriend," and I was like, "Hired." He's hired because I just wanted somebody who was, in a steady relationship because then it's a tricky thing because like he and I'd have to kiss each other and I've been with my husband for 22 years and so anyway, turns out he's amazing. I really trust him. I would do another movie with him in a heartbeat. Like he's like one of us, He's a great, great guy. Um, so
Definitely.
yeah, so and we did have really good chemistry. We worked really well together.
That's amazing because I was running out of that. I wanted the first movie because it's like a branch based into Hallmark. And I thought, okay, definitely. So I'm working on trying to get him to come on, hopefully this week later or next week. So I'm working on it.
I
But yeah,
really
I mean, it's
recommend. He would be
actually
a great guest. He would be a great guest.
so really nice to find some people that are from a Spanish background and incorporate them into the movie because not, I want to see other people and family in the movie? Did you like pull them out, or how did you like cast for the family?
We went local. So we hired a Spanish casting director and a lot of the cast came directly out of Madrid, which is sort of like the Los Angeles of Spain. And by the way, there's a lot of shooting going on in Spain. So yeah, we auditioned, out of Madrid, and I just thought the caliber of actors was just unbelievable. At this point, I've basically worked with most Vancouver talents, like they're friends, they're wonderful, but we've seen them. A lot of them have been in multiple Hallmark movies. So this was a cool opportunity to kind of diversify that and get, yeah, some fresh faces playing the mom and the dad. And, I just thought they were wonderful. They were primarily theater actors. They'd done TV before, but, new faces. And I just thought incredibly talented.
Yeah, definitely. There were two parts in that movie that really like the kitchen part when you were chopping up onions. You had like a moment for yourself, and the mom was like, "Are you okay?" And then you were like, I lost my mom. It's so nice to have this family." But I was like, like a really good family connection. And the other part I should start was like when you were sleeping and the mom comes in, put the clothes away, walked out, come back in, and planted. Like, and
What's that word?
I'm explaining to do with that.
Oh, yeah, it was so fun. That was such a fun day of shooting, mostly because I got to spend the entire day in my pajamas, which is my favorite thing. Acting in pajamas is sign me up. I want to do a whole movie where I get to wear my pajamas. But yeah, it was so cool. And getting to shoot in that villa and with Miguel, like yeah, I loved doing comedy with him. We laughed so much. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite memories or favorite scene from either two of those movies?
I mean, listen, the first 2 weeks that we were shooting in Barcelona, getting to work with Alison Sweeney, so much of the time the other lead in the movie is a man. And getting to work with another really strong female lead, it was kind of like that feeling like when you throw the ball, they throw it back just as hard. Like she did that for me. She's an incredibly experienced actress. We've both been acting since we were teenagers, um and it was truly like playing a really fun game of catch, working with Alison Sweeney. She's brilliant. And then all of a sudden we're getting to, be at these famous landmark places in Barcelona. So getting to shoot right in front of Sagrada Familia. Um, and like we weren't acting. We were like the first time I saw Sagrada Familia, I gasped. I literally like authentically was just like, like it's so mind blowing. The architecture's unbelievable. Gaudi was just this fascinating artist. And I live in California, in Los Angeles, and so much of the architecture is new, and it changes your whole worldview to see architecture like that that's been there for hundreds of years, and is still evolving right now. It was really unbelievable.
It's amazing because I like watching different movies with different destinations because I haven't been to any of them except for Hawaii, Mexico, Bahamas, Florida, if you call it a destination somewhere down south. But
Yeah.
I've been to Germany and France, but I was really, really little. So I don't really have a lot of memories for it, but it was really nice. And I know it's a lot of a challenge with Hallmark because of acting, the shooting, and the timeline with the filming. I'm just amazed how movies are made in 15 days and give or take 1 or 2 weeks to edit, and boom, it's out for everybody to watch.
Yes, yes. I say a lot of the time that shooting a Hallmark movie is kind of like doing community theater. It feels really intimate and it, you improvise a lot, a lot of the moments from the movies that we do are just happen in the moment, and then suddenly they're captured. And then a lot of the time I find like the moments that I say, that I ad lib, people call them out to me, and I'm like, I didn't even think that would make it in the movie, like you mentioned Two Tickets to Paradise, and I said, "Oh my Josh," as a joke to make the crew laugh, and now people are like, "Oh, tickets to Paradise, oh my Josh," and I'm like, I just made that line up, and so it's amazing. I feel like the shortened timeline can create an opportunity for almost like a lack of preciousness. You're able to just kind of be and exist, and then people get to watch.
If you had any free time with between the two movies about Barcelona, what should you do during your free time? You should like explore, grab every chance you could get with the food, with the view, with the culture.
I mean, if you saw the movies, you know that I was eating while we were shooting, basically nonstop. My character didn't stop eating. So I didn't need to experience the food on my off hours. But, we did shoot, so we shot these in 6 weeks and we did have weekends off. One of the weekends, I actually went out. You can ask Miguel, but I went out with the crew and we ended up finding this music festival in Bilbao and dancing. We were out until 5 o'clock in the morning dancing. And I actually have some video of, the dancing. It was just the most magical thing. I think Spain has like a thing with music where you kind of drop into the music and you just start moving your body and really feeling things and getting out of your head, which was really helpful for somebody like me who lives in America in sort of hustle culture. And a lot of what Miguel and I talked about was being able to stop thinking so much about productivity and start, kind of moving with our hips, and relaxing and listening to the music and dropping in. And that was an amazing aspect to the culture that I had not anticipated. Like, I came back to the States and the music that I would play in the morning with my kids over breakfast was so different.
Like, man, right there, I was just gone with it, dance with her, who cares? You know?
Stop thinking.
Yeah,
Stop thinking,
definitely.
Ashley. Yeah.
So from the movie, I heard you and Ali brought home everything from the movie.
Oh, we
I
brought
heard
home
you
all
guys
the
brought,
clothes.
yeah, I mean, all the clothes were like spot on. They like really tell you and I who you are at the point that in the movie, and of course outside of the movie too, like the actual Ashley and Ali, but the wardrobe was really, really very scrappy, very chic, and I really liked them. Yeah,
Thank you. That was
the whole
something we
I had
worked really
told
hard
them
on.
to pick out an outfit for
Yes,
myself.
totally. Yes, we worked so hard on that. As executive producers, we got to choose, who our wardrobe designer was, and I had worked with a wardrobe designer in a costume designer in Los Angeles 15 years ago, and then reconnected with her when I was directing on The Rookie for ABC last year. And she's just amazing. Her name is Julia Sklar. She's one of us. She's just funny, kind, more than anything else. She really understands women's bodies, and different body types. And she knew my body back in the day. And getting to wear clothes that make you feel like that you can breathe in. Like, it's really important to me to not be in like tight clothes. So much of the time I'm in, you know, skinny jeans and a tight turtleneck sweater with a belt and ankle boots in these movies, and she was putting us in clothes that women in their mid 40s wear, and they were comfortable. I could breathe, and she fit us for the clothes in Los Angeles. She did a mood board. We went back and forth on it. We did our fittings in LA, and then we brought all of the clothes ourselves to Spain. And then, I just said basically like, I need all, this is my new wardrobe, so I've been
You
able
can
to
have another
wear.
bedroom without the Hallmark clothes. So I can't get the mom's room without her clothes. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
not the
Usually I'll
thing.
come home from doing a Hallmark movie with a new winter coat. My husband's like, you have to stop with the winter coats. Like, you have plenty of winter coats. And also, we live in Los Angeles. You don't need a winter coat. And I'm like, but this one's so cute. But this time I was able to actually come home with clothes that I can wear. So that was helpful.
Definitely. Is there anyone as an actor or an actress or possibility of a director that you hope you want to work with in the future of a movie?
I mean, I would love to work with Crystal Lowe, who came out of the Make Her Mark program. She's one of Alison Sweeney's favorite directors. I I love female directors because I feel, and I'm speaking totally generally, there's exceptions to this, but I really believe in soft, kind leadership. I've been in the industry for a long time, and I've been on a lot of sets where there was yelling and people were scared, and there you can have productivity, you get stuff done. But having soft, kind leadership means that you're creating an environment of creativity that is just so much more enjoyable. And so somebody like Crystal Lowe would be amazing to work with for Hallmark.
Definitely. So to wrap up, what next for you? Like project, band convention, what next?
Yes, well, I've got a pretty busy fall. I am so I'm going to be directing another episode of The Rookie in season 8. And because of that, I don't wrap The Rookie until the night of December 19th. But I'm going to be on the first flight out on the 20th to go to Kansas City. So I'll be arriving in like after the early afternoon to Kansas City for any kind of fan events. And I actually haven't announced this at all. So this is the first time I'm speaking about this. So I will be in Kansas City on the afternoon, evening of the 20th for hosting panels, anything that happens, and then on the 21st in the morning, December 21st. And then yeah, I'm not going to be at Christmas Con because I'm going to be shooting The Rookie. But yeah, there's a couple of other fan events that have not been announced yet. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, there's, Countdown to Christmas is a marathon, not a sprint. So that'll take up my fall. And then honestly, I'm going to spend the summer with my kids and my family. I do have a bunch of stuff in development with Hallmark, so that'll be sort of plugging along as normal. But I'm going to spend the summer with my kids, which I'm really excited about.
Definitely, definitely. Agree with you on that. With teaching through the year and then can't over the summer. So that my summer, but just stay home, be a homebody, not change for the rest of the day, that kind of thing.
Yes, yes, pajamas all day.
Definitely. Well, actually, I really appreciate your time for coming on to the Cat Jack podcast. And it was a really great 46 minutes. Yeah, the Cat Jack.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me on the show. And thank you to the interpreters. I'm really happy you are here. And it was so wonderful to have like a nice little group. So thank you. Thank you for your support. And I'm excited to check out the episode.
Yeah, definitely. I will work, make some edits, take some bloopers out or whatever that hopefully have it uploaded that we think your two movies had premiered.
Perfect. Thank you. That means a lot. I really appreciate it.
My son wants to say hi quickly. So this is
Hello.
Taylor. That's
Hi.
Ashley. Nice to meet you,
What's
Ashley.
your name?
Taylor.
Hi, Taylor. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. I hear you're going to have a nice, relaxing summer with all of your animals.
Yeah, we have a lot of animals.
Please say hi to them all for me, okay? I love animals.
Okay. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Have a good day.
Bye.
Peace.
Thanks. Bye. Peace.
Yep. Well, again, thank you for coming on, Ashley. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. You too. Have a great day. Enjoy your family.
Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you. Bye.